Live today, guys. Thanks for joining Ruth and I for How to Change Your World. Today, we're going to talk about being a catalyst for change and how you can become a catalyst for change. Ruth?
Well, changing anything in our world requires a person to be able to be the catalyst. And so it's simply thinking, I want to make a difference. Yeah. And today, Brad and I had the opportunity to talk to a guy named David.
David Mutisa.
We started this video, Change Your World, a couple weeks ago, and David found us on YouTube, and he wanted to talk to us about the work that he does in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Brad, you want to tell us a little about what happened?
Well, interesting. Actually, he's a friend of mine on Facebook. But, when we talk about catalyst, we mean somebody is a motivation. How do you be a motivator to cause the change? But David took our message that we talked about last week on being a change and looking instead of the government or something else. He took on the burden of being a catalyst. Now, guys, Nairobi, Kenya it's almost a Western city. If you look at it, looks like any major city here in the U.S., but they have some severely major slums there. And the government in Nairobi, Kenya, unlike here in the U.S., doesn't help those people out. And they are living below the poverty line, no food, no sanitation, no medical. And David took it upon himself to start a learning center, Refacto Garden Learning Center, where he's basically number one task is to teach people so that they have the education that they can become more, so they have learning and knowledge.
Right. And it broke my heart as he's telling about the kids that he has found along in the streets in Nairobi, and he's brought them to his place. And the interesting part about the whole interview was the fact that he didn't reach out to us so that we'd give him money. No. He said, I want you to come to my town. I want you to come to my city. I want you to see the kids. And kids are like, they'll break my heart. I mean, lots of different ways. But I mean, that just broke my heart when Brad and I were talking to him this morning, and just amazing the work that he's doing there in Nairobi.
Yeah, and he's looking for, help people that can help feed the kids, even some people to help teach, but also to set up a medical clinic too, because the needs are so great. Again, guys, here we're so blessed in the U.S. I think we take it for granted. Ruth and I were just talking. We won't get into a big political dialogue here, but our government just wastes money like it grows on trees, and their government doesn't help them. They can't help them. So people there like David have to take and be a catalyst for change, for anything positive to happen.
Yeah, we're going to post the video. So if you have a moment to be able to watch it, it was a great interview with him. And, when Brad and I started this video, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, we were just, we're here in Des Moines, Washington, outside of Seattle, and we just want to figure out how we can be a catalyst for change, even in our own community. So it was just an awesome thing that we wanted to share with you and about changing. But today we want to talk about becoming a catalyst.
Yeah, and we found a guy who is. I mean, he's taken the bull by the horns, so to speak. But we talked a little bit how to do it. And you can see behind Ruth there, how would you do it? Well, I'm going to give you at least 3 reasons today. We're not going to get real in depth here. But you got to change from good intentions to good actions. And I've heard this illustration before, and I love it. So I'm going to share it. But there's 5 frogs sitting on a log. Okay. 4 decide to jump off. How many are left in the log? Well, a lot of people would say 1. No, all 5, because deciding is not doing. 4 only decided, they didn't actually take action. Guys, so there's a difference between, and I'll have Ruth get into this, good intentions and good actions.
Right. And I think that oftentimes when we do things out of our heart, we try with good intention. People with good intention want to add value to others, but they find a reason not to do it. But people with good action, they want to add value, and they find ways to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And then people with good intentions can be passive, inconsistent, and disappointing. And people with good actions, though, they are deliberate, they're consistent, and they're willful.
You know, sometimes we ask, what's in it for me? We're looking around trying to figure out if there's a benefit for me, but we should be asking, what is it for the common good?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes we get confused on those two things and how we are, we want to have good intentions, but it really takes good action.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that has motivated Brad and I for doing this video series and for even going on Facebook Live is a book by John Maxwell. It's called Change Your World. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I have been in the mentor program with John Maxwell. Mm-hmm. And John asked all of us who are in his program to take on the challenge to try to figure out how we can change our world here in Seattle, in Washington, the United States, and if it impacts other people around the world. So yeah. Brad has come alongside with me to try to see if we can help ourselves as well as help other people to be changing our world.
Yeah, we're just starting the conversation, guys. I guess if I had to say a call to action today would be join us in this conversation. We'd love to hear, how are you changing your world? How can you, again, be a catalyst for change? You know, Peter Drucker said, I guess to close this out, I'll give the last to Ruth here, but you cannot predict the future, but you can create it. And a guy like David Mutiso in Kenya is creating it. Guys, that's got to be a major struggle there because he doesn't have any outside funding or resource. He can't go to some welfare agency, government agency for it. He's doing it on his own. So Ruth, how would you like to close this out today?
Well,
what's your thought?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I want to, my takeaway from it is becoming a catalyst for change in my own world. And I hope you guys will dialogue with us as we become a catalyst for change. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks for joining us today, Friday. Join us. We'll have this message out. You can catch the Monday Morning Leadership. I'll post on my pages, send Ruth for an interview with David so you can kind of get an idea of what he's doing. So thanks again so much, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.